Is this on printed on recycled paper by any chance?
Probably not, but that's okay.
Why not? We're 1990s now. We're not
I don't make the photocopies. I just remember that.
We need to use recycled paper. We need to use wood less. We need sustainable logging, not clear-cut logging. Thanks.
We are stronger than before. We won't wait any longer. We are stronger than before.
You already have one? Yeah, I've seen this before, have you? Where, last year? You're back here again?
We are stronger.
You've already got one? Not with you?
We won't wait any longer. We are stronger than before. We won't wait any longer. We are stronger than before. We won't wait any longer. We are stronger than before. We won't wait any longer. We are stronger than before. We won't wait any longer. We are stronger than before. We won't wait any longer. We are stronger than before. We won't wait any longer. We are stronger than before. We won't wait any longer. We are stronger than before.
Yeah, I think the draggers I know are seriously. Somebody said they were clear cutting the ocean floor. It's the phrase that stuck with me. Yeah, but everything on the fish bottom.
The RCMP are not here, and McLeod-Lodell does not have the authority to arrest. They have not been granted as peace officers. However, because the injunction has been served, it would be advisable for people to move to the side of the road as support. Thank you.
We won't wait any longer. We are
McLeod-Lodell people would like to go to work now. We're asking you to kindly stand aside and allow the loggers to go to work.
Procedure from here on.
We are
that point, really the company would have to speak. I've done my duty informed of the court order, and all we can do now is just So what's next? It's not my function. I just here to ensure that they receive the order.
Do you know if the
What
company's
happens
already
now?
spoken to you?
What happens now? Now it's up to the whether or not they will come up and enforce the injunction. And also, I believe interest for one of the other logging contractors here that they're currently going to take this evidence and they're going to apply for an injunction. Based on that. They're also trying to get a on the same road. Are the police bringing up the road? I couldn't tell you that. It's up to them whether or not
That's okay. It's a small price to pay for that. Really, it's fun.
You can have.
Is there anybody in this line of brave people that would...
When you work full time, you don't have any time for this type of an act.
Do you understand what they're doing or why they're over there?
Yeah, I understand what they're doing. They don't want us to log.
They're going to protest something.
Can I get your name?
Gordon. What do you think when they tell you, though, that you are destroying a magnificent heritage by cutting down trees in the Clayoquot?
If I wasn't doing it, somebody else would. I'm not destroying any forests anyway. I work on a tugboat, so I just transport the logs. I don't cut them down.
But in the sense that when you know what the issue is, that they say that cutting down the forest is wrong, do you share that view?
I don't lose any sleep over it now. There's lots of trees out there. You just got to open your eyes and look. All these bare side hills that have got no trees on them. Look, there's lots of trees there. They're growing back.
Okay, thanks.
What do you think about what they're doing over there?
Doesn't bother me. I mean, they'll be gone tomorrow and I'll go to work. If they're not gone tomorrow, I'll be working the next day.
Are you losing a day's wages because of this?
Probably.
Hurts the pocketbook.
I got big pockets.
They say aren't changes. Have been changing and have been happening, and that's a concern of ours. And a lot of other things that belong, you know. Vicki Husband was on the radio last week saying that there's the mountains by Ukiulet have been logged off and there's not a tree growing on them. Well, I've been here for 24 years in the logging industry, and there's lots of trees growing on them. Yes, they were logged, but there's lots of trees growing on them, and the hills are coming greening up quite nicely. A mistake was made maybe on the how much they took out at the time they logged it, but we live and learn. So, you know, these things have to get out to the general public that logging is changing. We're doing a better job, and we are concerned about the environment.
Thank you.
Are you interested in logging some second growth forests selectively to help them grow?
Well, certainly. We'll do whatever's necessary. Some old growth is needed, though. You know, we need that old growth. Some of this stuff is dying on the stump, and it will be wasted if it's not logged.
Do you realize it's very important as a habitat environment for woodpeckers and so on?
Oh yeah. We leave it. We have a plot now where we've logged, and we've left habitat in the middle of the block, and areas that for your wildlife are left. The cuts are small, and there's you know, they're spread out all over the mountain, all over the areas that. So there's lots of areas for habitat. They don't take big blocks and wipe them all out anymore.
What's the definition of a big block? How many hectares? Or acres, whichever you prefer.
I would be guessing at exactly. You're talking about the size of a couple ball fields is what we take out now as compared to, you know, a much bigger area in the past.
How much bigger was it in the past?
I couldn't tell you.
What about blowdown? You've been having some problems with blowdown lately.
There's blowdown all the time, naturally or unnaturally. So, I mean,
but with these leaf strips and this
they're being feathered now to stop the blowdown, and in some areas they're topping the trees just to so they won't go down.
Were they doing that last year in the Cold Creek area?
I believe so, yeah. I'm not sure the areas are, but
And they still blew down though.
I'm not aware of that. I know. All I know is what we do in this area. I log in this area, and that's what I know about.
How many years of
Until they start logging second growth, I'm not sure that how long it would be.
Well, second growth is going to be at least 100 years.
The second growth on the island is ready to be logged now. I disagree with that.
Can I get your name, please? I'm Brian Kieran, from System. Robert Kieran. Robert? You listening? T-A-R.
No second growth on
Low impact logging as an option. And this clear cutting has to stop. It's dinosaur. It's on the way out. And the sooner that the workers realize that and help in the transition, we're herbiciding the alder, and on the other side of the island, they figured they're starting to make flooring out of it. I mean, you've got to get smart, but the short, quick profits by the big companies. I'm not angry. I'm not angry at the workers. I'm angry at the boss, the multinational corporations who don't care about the land. They didn't replant for the 60s and through the 60s and 70s. They lost 20 years of growth. They didn't respect that. These people are going to be dead by the time the long-term consequences of their poor decisions reach fruition.
Yeah, but see what you typically do, Ron, is like everybody else. It's always like, look at what's happened. And there were mistakes made, and I'm sure they recognize those. And the thing is that they're responding to those, and they're making changes. I keep hearing this thing about selective logging. I don't hear anybody coming up with any realistic way of, applying that.
Has the union been investigating this?
Have you been investigating it?
Well, it's not my job. I'm here to protect.
Constructively criticize?
Yeah. Well, I listen to guys like Murray Wilkinson. He says that the big trees put on 2% of their volume each year, and so if you have medium and large trees, they're putting on the volume, and you take them slow. But if you cut them all down at once, you get a lot of money quickly. And then these little teeny trees take 2% a year. They take forever.
And that goes back to your ideals of that money is poison, right?
I think that our society has an addiction to money.
A drug?
That our society has an addiction to money. And that clouds people's vision. Why then would a tobacco company...
Don't look at it as money. Look at it as fund coupons.
Okay, what about the fund coupons that the tobacco company gets for marketing a product on vulnerable children and say, hey, I can make you into a powerful man. I can make you into a slim woman if you buy those cigarettes.
How much were you charging for people to come and shake that habit, Ron?
I wanted to charge people $200 for a 3-month program. Tobacco costs a pack
Why
a
should
day.
you do it for free though if you believe in it so much and money is a drug? Why don't you just do it gratis?
Money's a tool. It's not.
It's fun coupons. Once you get that straight, you'll be laughing.
Negating issues.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with this issue for a long time.
Tell me, have you ever
I knew a logger. Wait a minute. I knew a...
14.
half after the logging trucks tried to come through, and I think that at this point we can declare a victory for Clayoquot Sound, another day where the logs didn't fall, where the trees are still standing in a lot of these beautiful wilderness areas. It's this is just the beginning, everybody. I want you to realize that what we are doing here, what people were ready to face here, is only the beginning of what more and more people are ready to face. We're saying that Clayoquot Sound is not the area that's going to be logged. It's not going to be the experiment for new forestry of any sort, and we've seen what new forestry really is. It's the same old thing. If they want to do model forestry, don't trash the rest of Vancouver Island. Leave Clayoquot Sound intact and practice good forestry everywhere on Vancouver Island. Everywhere else except here. Victory Day for us. Thank you.
Clayoquot Sound is now closed to logging. We'll be maintaining a vigil here, and we'll be having a celebratory lunch.
So
we radio out for food.
The next thing is to maintain the vigil. The word is out now that we've officially started the Clayoquot Summer '93 blockades, and we've got 300 people who've trained themselves in nonviolent civil disobedience, who over the summer will be coming. More people training every day. we're going to be doing speaking engagements in Toronto and getting people from the East who realize that this is a global heritage, not just a local issue, and people will be coming from all over the place. That's what's next.
Right on, yeah.
Well, we'll be here, most probably here, unless we get absolute confirmation from the companies that they're not planning on coming in. And we'll be here every day from that we can maintain arrestees. And I'm sure that they'll be rolling in.
Are you talking around the clock here?
Well, we have a peace camp that's set up around the clock, a Clayoquot peace camp, and people are camping out. We have information. Anybody who wants to stop in is welcome, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get arrested if you're at the peace camp. It's out of blockade site.
But up here, are you looking at around the clock?
Up here on this bridge?
Yeah.
We may. It's currently our peace camp is out near the highway, and some people might move in. We always are watching what's going on here. I guess you know Patrick Armstrong as well.
Oh, yes. From those days, yeah, absolutely,
What did it say on?
Good evening. There were no chainsaws echoing through the ancient rainforests of Clayoquot Sound today. Loggers were prevented from getting to work this morning by the first blockade of the summer. Now, if this seems a little familiar, it is. The Clayoquot area was the setting for similar confrontations last year at this time. The difference this go-around is a government decision to allow logging in 2/3 of the area. Now, a court injunction forbids blockade protests in the Sound, but no one, including a federal member of parliament, seems to be paying it any attention. More now from reporter Steve Hauser.
The first McMillan-Blodell vehicle to try to breach the blockade didn't get very far. Are you going to try and drive through?
I only, sorry, I have no comment for you.
No, you keep saying that, but I'm wondering, are you going to try and drive through?
I'm not going to hurt anybody. Nobody's going to get hurt. The position of Mac and Blow is we're trying to go to work today.
But rather than really trying to get through, McMillan-Blodell seemed more to be trying to establish proof and recording it on company cameras that the road was indeed blocked. The protesters ignored a process server with a legal injunction ordering them to clear the road. One of the protesters who refused to move was federal MP Sven Robinson.
We can't allow this magnificent old-growth forest to be logged. It's a tragic mistake, and I hope that my actions, along with those of many other Canadians, will persuade the government to reconsider its decision and to show the same kind of leadership on this issue that they showed on the Tatsunshini.
Are you prepared, though, to be arrested to make that point?
I'm here on the road this morning.
We've had enough.
Yeah! Loggers who showed up for work weren't happy about being blocked from their jobs.
I feel pretty shitty, not making any money. It's pretty crummy, isn't it? You've got to make your payments, earn a living. Stinks.
Hey, this is just a throwback from the 60s, only the AIDS scare's got people hugging trees instead of free love.
The loggers who couldn't work today will still get paid. But instead of being in the woods, they went to a rec hall for instruction on the new, stricter forestry practices the government says must be used for logging in the Clayoquot. But this environmentalist doesn't think much of the new way of logging.
Well, I'm quite cynical about what the government and the forest companies say. I was up to Cold Creek yesterday, and we saw some of the new forestry, 3 30-hectare clear cuts that had become one giant clear cut because of blowdown. They had left 3 small strips in between the clear cuts, and then the wind simply knocked it down.
The main blockade is broken up for the day. A smaller group will remain behind. They're calling it a vigil to keep watch, and more people will be back tomorrow to make sure the bridge remains blocked.
This is just the beginning. The momentum has started, the blockades have begun, and we are starting out with a success. McMillan Bloedel was not willing to face us. They turned around and they hightailed it out of here, and Inter4 didn't come in either. This is a working day. We won today.
McMillan Bloedel says it only has so much patience. It says it will be asking the RCMP to enforce its legal injunction and open the road, perhaps as early as tomorrow. The environmentalists say they'll be waiting. Steve Hauser, CBC News, near Tofino.
Can't go on forever. Put your hands down. Slip up.